Welcome to Americana Archives. Today's headline is a sermon on the rail. It says, "A red light ahead. That means danger." The engineer shuts off steam, puts on the brakes, and the express train was switched off the main track. It was not a stopping place on the time card of the express. What did it all mean? Hank, while the train men are shouting to the depot master, the roar and scream of a demon drowns their voices. Up the road is a star, a lantern, now a great light, now the full blaze of a locomotive headlight. One great blaze, one awful roar, one rush, and the wild locomotive is gone, running down the road without human hand to control it. A locomotive running wild, a great mad demon, having the strength of 10,000 lunatics, driving along through the darkness in search of prey. No one knew what accident started it off. The telegram read, "For God's sake, save the express. Locomotive coming down upon you." The depot master was a hero. He saved the train with 20 seconds to spare. The telegram was hardly out the wire before he was flying to obey. 20 seconds of hesitation, 20 seconds of doubt as to his course, and the little station could not have held the crushed dead and wounded. Down the wire went the warning words, "Wild locomotive coming." The lightning travels faster than steam. Steam hissed and screamed and bounded along the iron rails. Lightning ran along the wire above and ran faster. Through the gloom of night, obeying no hand, the monster rushed at bridges, swept across curves, and leaped the frozen creeks. But the lightning was ahead, and men were ready. They could have turned a switch. The wild monster would have left the rails and plunged into a tank, or rushed at a bank of earth, or flung the iron rails about and toppled over on the main track. They let the hissing, screaming, roaring fiend have the track to run its race, while the lightning went ahead to save human lives. Gray-haired men who have never used an oath and who fear God and strive to keep His commandments will tell you that there was a rider on the back of that runaway demon. It dashed past them as the lightning comes and goes, but there was time to see a hideous visage peering from the cab window over the engineer's seat. The devil drove the wild locomotive. They saw his fiery eyes, the short horns above his ears, and in the odor which floated back to them from the smokestack was the smell of brimstone. Someone or something rang the bell as the snorting monster dashed through the lonely forest and across the frozen fields. Scores of men will swear they heard it. Someone or something blew shrill blasts on the whistle as the giant flew around the curves. Farmers heard the echoes and were roused from their beds by the sudden, fleeting glare of the headlight. A bridge, a curve, a station, and men standing on the platform grew pale as a trail of fire was left behind. Sparks of fire flew from the iron rails as they fly from flint when struck by steel. Black smoke streamed far behind, and the dampness bore it down alongside the fences and held it there. It is a terrible race when steam and fire drive wheels of iron until they grow hot and lick up the moisture on the track as the sun absorbs the dew. It is an awful moment when steam and fire and iron thunder down upon a depot, uncontrolled to pass the switch and go screaming on into the darkness, or to leave the track and crush out everything in its way. The race was run. When the fire dies down, the steam grows weak, slower, and by the great driving wheels cannot turn again, and the headlight threw its beams upon a lonely track in the forest. The monster stood there until men mounted its back and were in control again. They tell strange stories of hearing a scream of rage and a rush of cloven feet as they came into the glare of the headlight, but let that pass. Nothing can be wilder than a locomotive rushing down the iron road without a driver. This story came from the great state of Iowa, being reported in the Iowa State Reporter of March 8, 1876. Thank you for joining us today. If you want to continue to uncover all of America's lost and forgotten history, then remember before you leave to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and remember to like and comment below. And we will see you next time on Americana Archives.